Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy for the Ages, the show where a father and son often get together. Zach's not here today, and we talk about fantasy, science fiction, and other nerdy things that we enjoy. I'm bringing to you a book blast today on a book I just finished Midnight Tides, Book 5 of Malazan, Book of the Fallen by Stephen Erikson. If you enjoy this episode, be sure to like it down below, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that yet, leave comments about what you think about what I had to say, and look in the show notes for all the other ways you can connect with Zach and I. As a book blast episode, be aware this is a safe spot if you haven't read this book yet. We'll give you perhaps an idea what you might expect and why you might want to read the book, but it does make most sense if you're working your way through Malazan Book of the Fallen because this is book 5 already. It won't make any sense if you haven't already read the first 4. Literally, I just finished this book today, sat down, put some thoughts together. I needed to react, and here you go. How does this book compare with the other books I've been reading so far? Because I am loving the Malazan journey. Well, thoughts that I have here, there's a lot of dark things that happen in this book. Some really horrific and tragic events. And yet, somehow, Stephen Erikson writes this with a lighter tone than the previous 4 books. 'Cause, I mean, there's dark things that happen everywhere in Malazan. I mean, Book of the Fallen, they are fallen. But somehow he manages to add so much humor into this book, mostly coming through in dialogue. And it just creates a lighter tone, even as hundreds, thousands are dying around you and such tragic events are occurring. I find this book is, on first read, which is what I'm doing, a less direct tie-in to the rest of the series. I mean, there was a real connection between book 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one, well, it's being told by a character we met in book 4, but you don't get any of that in book 5. There's no storyteller vibe. It's just a story now. Troll Sengar, his past. So, as far as we know, this entire book is flashback. There is one other character we interact with in the story that we have seen before, but you just get little snippets of that one. Troll is the one you get plenty of, and yet it's not entirely Troll's story. It's a story of many different people that I do believe there will be many tie-ins to the greater Malazan story, but you don't get a lot of that right off. In fact, this feels very disconnected from the rest of the story. I'm sure I will feel differently on a reread. It's obvious Erikson is putting in a whole bunch of things that will be significantly relevant as I move through books 6 through 10. But in a way, this is just its own little story. Still big, massive book, but a story unto its own. It's not advancing the story of books 1, 2, 3, 4, but it is certainly enriching the world building. We're getting more context on different aspects of this world that we have had referenced. The Tisti Adur and the Tisti Andi, Warrens, Magic, Hood. I could go on and on. So many different things that we have tie-ins here, and it was amazing and brilliant. I do remain unclear exactly where this fits into the timeline of the books. With the previous 4 books, you got Gardens of the Moon that comes first, and it actually covers quite a length of time. But after Gardens of the Moon is done, then we get the events in Dead House Gates. Book 3, Memories of Ice, those events happen pretty much concurrently with Dead House Gates, with different characters. And then after those, we have book 4, House of Chains. Now, in each, there's flashbacks, there's little pieces that may occur at other times. House of Chains starts with almost the first half of the book that's entirely flashback. Origin story of a character who you met in Dead House Gates is significant here in House of Chains, but all of the flashback happens before Gardens of the Moon. But now I got this book. I don't know where this fits. I know it's happening earlier than House of Chains. But where it ends and where the character we meet in House of Chains is at, it's clear there's been a gap of time. How much? I don't know. And it does not make it clear because it doesn't leave off right where we met the character. Not at all. There's clearly stuff that happens in between. So that's one of the mysteries here that I look forward to understanding better as I move through the story. I did enjoy getting some snapshots into this world of different characters, different aspects that may have been referenced, but we hadn't had much information on. One of the biggest there is the Crimson Guard. We get to meet a cadre of them, and that was just fantastic. And to see the Avowed and the powers this person has, I mean, that was incredible. We just had references to Prince Azor, I think it's Prince Azor. I didn't research that for doing this reaction. I just finished the book. But now we're getting, whoa, there's so much more to this Crimson Guard stuff. Whoa, okay, what's this? And still we only get a tease in this book. But it was enough that I definitely want more. Finished with this book, I have to admit I'm left with more questions than I did have after the first 4 books. And I really want to know the answers to these things that I'm left wondering on, where they just gave me some information, but not enough. So this book severely compels me to read further. There were many fascinating characters in this story, people that are just introduced to you here. My favorite are, beyond a doubt, T-Hole Benedict and his manservant Bugs. Those of you who have already read this, you understand. But there are many, many other characters that I've really valued getting to know and have experiences with. Shirk Alail, Ulala, the Sengar brothers, Kettle, numerous gods, the Benedict brothers, because T-Hole is not by himself. There are others that you get to know. Wither, Udinaeus. Man, I could go on and on. This was a wonderful addition to the Malazan story. And again, just makes me want to read more. I'll do another episode, a more deeper review where I'll talk about some of these questions that I have left, but this is a book blast. So that's all you get. No plot points, just reaction. And a lot of the reaction was, I love this book. There you go. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.